Alright guys, you should know I'm very excited about this one. Look what we got. An all original vintage Tamiya Blackfoot. It's got the 3-step speed control. I just bought a new battery fart. The thing is though, it's got the upgrades from back in the 80s, which is those rear end gears. Steering's all original. The front end's a little banged up, but it still works. It's got a busted front right here. See, that's working just fine, still working. You know, it's got a crack in it, busted. I had to put a thing from a medicine bottle on there to help stiffen the shock, because it's actually, see where it's broken at down there, the frame's broken. We're gonna try it out like that. But yes, I'm proud to say that now I'm not only an owner of an all original 1984 Tamiya Fast Attack vehicle that has the original parts, but now I'm the owner of a original modified Tamiya, because it's still all original and it's all vintage 1986 Tamiya Blackfoot, but it's got the updated version, the updated radio, the oil-filled shock absorbers, the updated dog bones they had from back in the day, and the updated radios. That's actually an Airtronics radio instead of a Futaba. So we're going to test it, run it a little bit, and see how it goes. I'm going to set you guys up right here. I'm just going to try to drive her around right here. See how she runs. I hope she runs okay. We're going to find out. Here goes, guys. That's a 4,000 milliamp battery in there. Got stuck in the leaves over here. Yeah, the radio don't reach very far though, so it probably had some damage from back in the past. And I think the radio's backwards. Or at least yeah. You can see it does work just fine, but it does run out of range. So it's really impossible for me to open it up unless I'm right beside it. Part of it's the remote. I might try to get the older Futaba on it. Part of that is this too, because this actually is this is a new battery box I had to get, because the old one was actually very junky. And battery's new, the battery's fine, but I feel like maybe I might have to replace this. But when I got this truck, it came with some extra parts, and one of the extra parts was a new on and off switch. So I might try to put that in and see if it works a little better. But besides that, I mean, it's an all original Tamiya Blackfoot. Just radio signal wears off very fast. It's very weak transmitter. Doesn't reach very far. I'm gonna try something real quick if I can do it in typical original Blackfoot fashion. Okay, if I can get the radio to connect. Just having trouble doing it. Like I said, guys, signal's very weak. I got a little donut there. Don't go crazy with it though. The ground's a little bit too hard for it. Walk along the side of the work. I might check the antenna for damage too on the car. Check this out, that's pretty cool looking. So the date on this radio, there's the model number, but the date on this radio, which looks like date 3, which that would be it says 3, which is January, February, March, and then looks like a 10, which I don't know if that's, it looks like March the 10th, and it has 03, so this might be a 03 transmitter. Another thing I noticed, which I don't know yet, I might Google it though, is that this definitely ain't an 03 controller, because they didn't have that in 03. This is definitely older than that. But this says from the 80s, and I looked up this, and it is from the 80s. But this might be number 3. Here's the, see if there's 75 megahertz. But it's, yeah, there's another one, 75 megahertz brand. I haven't learned about everything, but I might have to Google it to figure out everything about it, but. I think the car might be having overheating issues though. I know one way I can get that theory. If anybody follows a guy named Mateo out there, Mateo is a Japanese guy from the 80s who grew up racing a lot of Tamiyas like this. And he said that his was a 80, well, he said that all of his, which all of these vintage vehicles use a, and I see dust is starting to get in there, that might be a problem. I might have to get a box to cover it. But what he said, that a lot of these 1980s style RC vehicles uses a, they're all 7.2 volt. So I'm going to check this real quick and make sure what voltage this is. And I believe it's 7.2, but I could be wrong. But this is still original here, the snap's original. Yes, now I know it works. It's going on a wall. So is my 85 fast attack. Well, let me get the thing open. There we go. So, yep, 7.2 volts. So it's definitely not going to be the, you can see the brand there too. Good brand. 400 milliamp now, so that way I can swap between the two vintage vehicles when I want. So it's not the voltage that's the problem. Other thing it might be, I might try getting another radio, because there is another Airtronics radio they have found. It's hunter green colored, and it's the old school type. Try it, because I'm thinking it's this, because the one that came with it, you see this is like shinier. This is a one I just bought out of the box from the 80s case. Because the one I had, this was broke right here. And it wouldn't work, so I had to buy that. And it works now, but as you can see, if I can get it just right, see it's off, on and off. So, let's see if it works if I lay it over like that. See how far it'll reach. Yep. Yep, I'll do it anyway. Nothing that a little bit of work can do. It's one thing when you have these vintage, completely vintage RCs. I'm thinking it is the remote, so we'll go by that. We'll go by remote first. If it's not that, then we'll see other things on the car. But I'm not really wanting to mess with the car too much because I don't want anything to be wrong with the car. But it does work. Okay guys, so regardless, there you go. That is a all vintage 1986 Tamiya Fast Tack vehicle. Another thing I know I need a, not Fast Tack vehicle, Jesus. From the 84 Fast Tack. Original 1986 Tamiya Blackfoot. So I'm still going to keep this radio because this original is still pretty cool. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try another radio from the 80s that's like this. But, well, this radio is actually from the 90s, the one I'm thinking of. But this is the 81. I'll try the 90s radio. That's it. If not, we'll try something else starting with... We'll go with radio first, and if it's not the radio...